Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean Sundahl once again. I just got off of a 10-hour shift. A little bit tired. It's freaking hot out here. It's like 114, 115 degrees. It's bad. The weather's really bad. I'm over here in Imperial County. Hey, so in today's video, we're going to talk about shootings. What happens, or what should you do if you get involved in a shooting as a private security guard or a private investigator, particularly in the state of California. Now, for those of you who live in other states, don't worry. I only cover a little bit of state law for California, and states tend to replicate, if they have licensing agencies, they tend to replicate other states for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. But even then, you're going to learn a lot in this video. I want you to understand that I am not an attorney at all. I don't represent any law enforcement agency. I don't represent any government agency as well. So you got to do your own research. With the content in this video, what you can always do is present the information to a licensed attorney or a licensed legal representative and ask them their thoughts as it pertains to your facts. You are going to assume that the threat was imminent. Had you not fired that weapon of yours, you would have been killed, or somebody else would have been killed, or they would have suffered serious bodily injury. Now, we're going to assume that you are in position to cover, meaning that as you call for backup, you are behind a brick wall, maybe an engine block, something that would block a round of ammunition just in case that threat came back to you. Maybe you're farther away from this person. Maybe it was a knife attack and you are concealing yourself behind of a car, maybe an engine block, just something to provide that cover. If you don't have cover, then you can always have the concealment. And cover is something that will block, most likely block a round of ammunition. Concealment is something that would hide you. Call 911. Let them know that you are a armed private security officer or armed private investigator, and this person just tried to kill you. Let them know that you were involved in a shooting and give the address. Okay? If you could say it a little bit more fluidly, I give the address first. Hey, I'm an armed private security officer, private security guard. I am an armed private investigator. I'm on this street, just involved in a shooting. Can you please send medics now and send the police as well? Okay, you have, even though this person tried to kill you, you have to show some type of empathy to this person that almost just killed you. Unfortunately, that's what society wants us to do. So you should still try to get this person some help, okay? Now, as for leaving the phone on or off, I don't think it's a necessarily good idea to leave the phone on, and here's why. If you leave that phone on, you're more than likely to say something that you did not mean at the time. You see, most police officers, most private security officers have never fired their gun at a human being before. They haven't even fired their gun at all in any self-defense encounter. So most people don't understand the psychological process unless you read up on it. Now, what ends up happening is your cognitive, in a stressful encounter, life and death, your cognitive ability declines. All the blood goes away from your brain and it goes to the big muscles in your body. So your legs, your arms, and you lose that dexterity because all the blood's going away. You're not thinking rationally, okay? You're not maybe even thinking at all because your body is just putting you in survival mode. So you might say something that you didn't intend to, and that's going to be public record. You make the phone call 911, that is public record, and it can be used against you. Okay. When the police get there, if you are a private investigator, you don't have any type of uniform on, if I know that the police are arriving soon, they may not necessarily turn on their lights and sirens like the movies. Maybe I can hear screeching tires. I'm going to slowly tuck the weapon at the low ready, or move the weapon at the low ready position, and slowly start concealing it. Okay, I don't want the police to think that I am the bad guy. Okay, it happens all the time. Police accidentally shoot the good guy. Sometimes, okay? put it away. If you're armed security, you can have it at the low ready when the police start showing up, and most likely they'll give you an order to put the weapon away. Do so if it's safe to do so. Okay? Your weapon is stored away. Look, don't take it personal if they start treating you like a suspect. They are investigating a potential homicide case if the guy dies. All deaths are considered homicides unless an investigation will reveal that it was a justifiable homicide. Then you're good. Sometimes the investigation will reveal murder, and then you're screwed. Manslaughter, you're still screwed. But this video is going to maybe help you avoid such trouble. Not guaranteed, but just something to consider. They're going to want to secure your weapon. Don't take it personal. They might secure your duty belt, your badge, your uniform. They're going to maybe want you to take that all off. If it's in plain view, they do not need a warrant most of the time. If this evidence that they seek is in a locked container or in a locked trunk, they're going to need your consent or a search warrant. It just depends on the facts. Okay? They can always store your car for evidence depending on your state's codes. And if they do that, they can get a warrant or maybe do an administrative search for storage reasons as part of investigation, and they'll find what they need that way also. But just don't take it personal if they have to do that. Okay, they have to do a thorough investigation. They don't take any shortcuts. They're gonna want to get a statement from you, and this is where you have to be very careful. You're going to be inclined to tell them everything. And in doing so, you might give unnecessary information. You just took someone's life. Or maybe you nearly took someone's life. This is a traumatic event for you. Why would you just rush a statement that might take you 5 minutes, 3 minutes, an hour? If the negative consequences for giving the wrong statement can follow you your whole life. Okay? So this is what I do. If it was me, depending on the facts, I would say, hey, officer, I will cooperate with you. But I'm gonna, right now at the moment, I'm gonna give you a public safety statement, and then let me talk to an attorney to give you a voluntary statement. A public safety statement is used by many agencies across America. As a law enforcement officer, you may be compelled to let a supervisor know that a brief synopsis of what happened. So, hey, this person tried to kill me. Or you could just say, in self-defense, I shot 5 rounds in this direction. Suspect fled this way. He was wearing this type of clothing. And that is the end of your statement. Okay? That's called a public safety statement. When you tell an officer, I'll give you a quick public safety statement, in that officer's mind, they're going to be thinking, damn, this guy, this private security guard or this private investigator really knows what he's talking about, and we're not going to take advantage of him. We're not going to violate his rights because he knows what he's talking about. Because law enforcement officers are taught in many places, not all, that they are required to give a public safety statement, but it's brief. Guy tried to kill me. Fired this many rounds in this direction. He fled this way. He's wearing this. Okay? Public safety statement. We've got to make sure that there's no holes in houses or businesses, and we're going to have to follow that hole and make sure that you did not accidentally or inadvertently shoot somebody that you not intend to shoot. Okay? So that's the importance of a public safety statement. Do not feel compelled to give a statement. Most times you're not required to give a statement. This is the problem. If you don't give a statement and there's no other witnesses, they're going to see a gun, they're going to see a security officer, private investigator, and a dead person. Okay? If they have probable cause to believe that a crime occurred, and that may not be a high standard, then they are going to arrest you. They are going to arrest you if they have probable cause to believe that you committed a crime. And that is why I want to just give them that public safety statement, but I'm going to keep it that brief. Okay? It's going to be so brief that they're going to have enough information to work with, and it shows that you are cooperating. Okay? You just want to have an attorney, and even law enforcement officers understand that it's super important, very important, to have an attorney present so you don't end up incriminating yourself. You guys, they know those rights for themselves. So, you know, you bring forward these issues, they're going to respect you a lot more. Okay? Now, if they try to bring you somewhere, if they try to maybe get more statement from you, I would like to speak to my attorney. Okay? Those of you might be wondering, hey, what attorney? Okay, what attorney are you talking about? Do I have to pay for it? So before this video, I was researching CCW Safe, and I was looking for a subscription criminal defense programs, and I can't find any. CCW Safe was the closest one, but that involves off-duty incidents as a law enforcement officer or as a private person who is not engaged in any type of on-duty employment, such as a private security officer, or I think even a private investigator, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, they're not going to cover you. Many security companies across U.S. have commercial liability insurance. In the state of California, all security companies are required to have liability insurance. All armed private investigator agencies are required to have a liability insurance policy. Okay? If you contact them, which you should, to put a claim in, I think the chances are they're going to send an attorney to represent you, because what you say to the police may be used against you in a civil case, and they're going to end up paying that. So many times they're going to listen to you, and they are going to figure out using a cost benefit measure if they are going to represent you. And if this is in the middle of the night, and it probably will, you know, these things happen weekends and nights for the most part. There's not going to be anybody available, so you just let the detective know, hey, you know what, I'm going to try to get a hold of my attorney. You don't have to give them a name in most states, so just stand by, okay? And I have no problem giving you a volunteer statement. Things are going to be a little bit more state specific, but if your state requires licensure for private security or private investigators, they are going to be very similar. They, meaning the laws, are going to be very similar to the state of California. All states, they tend to have very common rules and regulations with each other, but obviously you look into your own state laws on reporting requirements. Now, in the state of California, if you discharge your firearm, okay, in any manner except at the range, you have to report the incident to the company, to your company, private patrol operator, and you have 24 hours, okay? It's not a lot of time. Now, you should be reporting it earlier than that, earlier than 24 hours, but the state says 24 hours. You have 7 days to report the incident to law enforcement in a written format, okay? Make sure it's brief. You also have 7 days, when I mean you and the private patrol operator, okay, have 7 days to make a written report of the incident to BSIS, Bureau of Security Investigative Services, and you must detail the incident, the circumstances that surround the event. Okay, you guys have no choice. You're gonna have to prepare that. Now, you want to do that with an attorney. You want to prepare these statements for an attorney, even with law enforcement, because you want to make sure that you're not incriminating yourself or you're exposing the company to liability, okay, by doing that. So once again, 7 days, you have to report to BSIS, you and the private patrol operator, and the particular person that you have to notify is the director of BSIS. Okay, I'm sorry, the director of Consumer Affairs. Okay, director of Consumer Affairs. Consumer Affairs is the agency that oversees BSIS. Okay, 7 days. You have 7 days to report the incident to law enforcement. Okay, and then 24 hours to report the incident to your boss. Okay. Make sure that you get an attorney. I hope this video helps. You guys, let's do a buddy check. Send this video to your partners that you work with. Send it to your supervisor. Send it to your boss. You have to be informed on the steps that you have to take if you get involved in a shooting. These people out here that want to do harm to us, they're preparing for this stuff. They picked the battleground, but at least we need to be prepared. That is tactically, professionally, and we need to be prepared legally as well. Hope this video helps. Press the like button, comment if you have any suggestions or any other questions, subscribe. Have a safe day, guys.